Hello guys, welcome to Bright Future YouTube channel. My name is Nomsa Mashaba and today we'll be doing maths. Today's topic will be about polynomial equations. So I'll be introducing you guys to polynomial equation. Before we can get into today's topic, if you haven't subscribed yet, please kindly do so, like and share the video. Okay, let's get into today's topic. Thank you. Okay guys, today's topic is polynomial equations. As I said before, we have three types of polynomial equations, which are linear equation, quadratic equation, and cubic equation. Linear equation, its standard form, it's ax plus b is equal to 0. Quadratic equation, its standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Cubic equation, its standard form is ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d is equals to 0. Okay, let's move on to the solving methods. Okay, the solving method of linear, we can take the standard form of linear equation, which is ax plus b is equals to 0. When we are talking about solving methods, is whereby we make x the subject of the formula, or where we like find x. Yeah, so from the standard form of the linear equation, we take b to the other side and it changes the sign, and we'll be left with ax. And then we want x, so we will obviously divide both sides by a, and then a is equals to minus b over a. Okay, let's move on to quadratic equation. Quadratic equation have three types of solving methods. Yeah. So method number 1 is factorization. So in factorization, step number 1, make the right hand side equals to 0 using the standard form of the equation. And then step number 2, factorize the left hand side. Step number 3, find two numbers that multiplies and gives you c but adds up to bx. Okay, let's move on to another solving method of quadratic equation, which is quadratic formula. So I think this one is straightforward, everyone knows it, which is x is equals to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So our a obviously will be our a will be the coefficient of x squared, and our b will be the coefficient of x. And our C will be our constant. Yeah, so basically we'll substitute these into the equation and get our answers. Yeah, let's move on to solving method number 3, which is completing the square, my favorite. Okay, we start by writing down the standard form of the quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So step number 1, divide all terms of the equation with the coefficient of x squared, which is a. Step number 2, take the constant term to the right hand side, which is c. And then step number 3, add coefficient of x over 1 times 1 over 2 all squared to both sides, meaning we add b over 2 into, okay, yeah, open brackets b over 2 close bracket squared, we add it to both sides of the equation. Step number 4, simplify right hand side alone and left hand side alone. Step number 5, extract negative plus or minus square root, meaning introduce square root on both sides. And then step number 6, simplify and let x be the subject of the formula. And then that's it. Let's move on to solving methods of cubic equation. So cubic equation have 2 types of solving methods. So solving method number 1 is factorized by grouping. So as usual, we start by writing the standard form of the formula, which is ax cubed plus, oh my bad, yeah, ax cubed plus b squared plus bx squared plus cx plus d is equals to 0. So the steps of factorizing by grouping. Step number 1, you have to notice that the first 2 coefficients have the same ratio as the last 2. For example, the coefficient b over coefficient a should be equals to coefficient d over coefficient c in order for you to factorize by grouping. Then if coefficient b over coefficient a is not equals to coefficient d over coefficient c, you cannot factorize by grouping. Okay guys, step number 2, in the first 2 terms, take out the common factor, which is x squared. Most of the time, yeah, it's x squared. Yeah, so yeah, let's move on to step number 3. On the last two terms, also take out the common factor. Usually the common factor, it's a constant. Yeah. And then step number 4, factorize completely and solve for x. Then let's move into solving method number 2. Okay, solving method number 2 of cubic equation. As usual, we start by writing the standard formula, the standard form of the formula, which is ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d is equals to 0. Step number 1, find factors of the constant term, which is d. Step number 2, test the factors one by one on the original equation to give you 0. So if you test the factors and they don't give you 0, meaning you cannot factorize by factor theorem. So yeah, let's move into step number 3. Use factor theorem or synthetic division. And then step number 4, factorize completely and solve for x. Okay guys, that's it for today's topic. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please kindly do so. Also share, comment and like. Until we meet again, we'll be doing we'll do exercises on polynomial equations. So stay blessed guys.